Some countries are so small you could walk across them before lunch. From an island kingdom smaller than a city park, to a nation you could fit inside a single golf course, these are the 12 smallest sovereign nations on Earth. Stay until number 1, because it is so tiny you can see the entire country from a single rooftop. We are counting down from number 12 to number 1, from Caribbean island chains to European mountain kingdoms and a walled city inside another city. Each one is a fully independent country, just impossibly small. Number 12, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. A chain of volcanic Caribbean islands so small that its entire nation, 32 islands, and islets combined, adds up to less land than a mid-sized city. The country is made up of one main island and dozens of tiny Grenadine islets, several of which are privately owned by celebrities and billionaires. Its highest point, La Soufriere volcano, last erupted in 2021, forcing thousands of residents to evacuate by boat. The island was one of the last in the Caribbean to be colonized, because the indigenous Kainago people fiercely resisted European settlers for over a century. It gained full independence from Britain only in 1979, one of the youngest nations on this list. Tourism here focuses on yachting, with the Grenadines considered one of the best sailing destinations on Earth. Parts of the Pirates of the Caribbean films were shot among these islands, drawn in by their untouched, cinematic coastline. St. Vincent and the Grenadines spreads across dozens of islets. The next nation packs its entire population onto a single volcanic rock. To Grenada. Number 11, Grenada. Known as the Spice Isle, this tiny volcanic nation produces so much nutmeg that its flag literally has one painted on it. Grenada produces around a fifth of the world's nutmeg supply, despite being one of the smallest countries on the planet. A hurricane in 2004 destroyed nearly 90% of the island's nutmeg trees, wiping out a generation of harvest overnight. Its capital, St. George's, wraps around a horseshoe-shaped harbor often called one of the prettiest in the Caribbean. In 1983, the United States led a brief invasion of Grenada after a violent internal political coup. Grenada hosts an annual underwater sculpture park, the first of its kind in the world, submerged off its coast. The island's rainforest hides secret waterfalls that locals say were used as hideouts by escaped enslaved people centuries ago. Grenada fits an entire spice industry onto one small island. The next nation is even smaller, and its capital sits underwater centuries from now if the sea keeps rising. To Malta. Number 10, Malta. A fortress nation in the middle of the Mediterranean, so densely packed with history that it has more prehistoric temples per square kilometer than almost anywhere on Earth. Malta's Gantija temples were built around 3600 BC, making them older than both the pyramids of Giza and Stonehenge. During World War II, Malta was bombed so relentlessly that the entire nation was collectively awarded Britain's George Cross for bravery. Despite its tiny size, Malta is one of the most densely populated countries on Earth, packing over 500,000 people into a space smaller than most cities. Its capital, Valletta, is so architecturally rich that the entire city is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Malta has become a hub for online gaming and film production, with its dramatic coastline standing in for ancient Westeros in Game of Thrones. The Knights of Malta once ruled the island for over 200 years, building some of Europe's most formidable fortifications. Malta packs ancient history into a fortress island. The next nation is a chain of coral atolls that could vanish beneath the sea. To the Maldives. Number 9, the Maldives. Spread across nearly 1,200 coral islands, this is the flattest and lowest lying country on Earth, with an average elevation of barely over a meter above the sea. Its highest natural point is only about 2.5 meters above sea level, the lowest high point of any country on the planet. Rising seas threaten to submerge the entire nation within this century, making it one of the most climate-vulnerable countries on Earth. In 2009, the government held an underwater cabinet meeting in scuba gear to draw global attention to the crisis. Tourism built around overwater bungalows and coral reefs makes up nearly a third of the entire national economy. Its coral reefs host whale sharks, manta rays, and some of the most biodiverse marine ecosystems on the planet. Engineers have begun building an artificial floating city nearby, designed to rise and fall with the ocean instead of flooding. The Maldives is scattered across the ocean like scattered coral dust. The next nation is a single twin island country in the Caribbean Sun. To St. Kitts and Nevis. Number 8. St. Kitts and Nevis. The smallest sovereign nation in the entire Americas, made up of just 2 volcanic islands separated by a narrow channel of shimmering water. As the smallest country in North or South America, its entire population is smaller than a single mid-sized American town. St. Kitts was the first island in the Caribbean to be permanently settled by Europeans, earning it the nickname the Mother Colony. The nation pioneered citizenship by investment programs, allowing people to gain a passport through economic contribution to the country. Brimstone Hill Fortress sits atop a volcanic ridge and is considered one of the best preserved historic fortifications in the Americas. The islands are home to descendants of African vervet monkeys, brought over centuries ago, that now outnumber the human population. A narrow-gauge sugar train, once used to haul cane, now carries tourists on a scenic loop around St. Kitts. St. Kitts and Nevis is tiny even by Caribbean standards. The next nation is a scattered chain of coral atolls in the middle of the Pacific. To the Marshall Islands. If these already sound small, we are only halfway. The closer we get to number 1, the more these countries start to feel like private estates instead of nations. Number 7, the Marshall Islands. A remote nation of low coral atolls in the middle of the Pacific, made up of over 1,000 individual islands, most of them barely wider than a football field. Between 1946 and 1958, the United States tested 6 to 7 nuclear bombs on Bikini Atoll, part of this nation. One test, Castle Bravo, was over 1,000 times more powerful than the bomb dropped on Hiroshima, and its fallout still lingers today. The country's total land area could fit inside a mid-sized city, yet it spans an ocean territory nearly the size of Mexico. Like the Maldives, rising seas threaten to make the entire nation uninhabitable within a few generations. Traditional stick charts made of wooden shells were once used by Marshallese navigators to map ocean swells across vast distances. Its surrounding waters host some of the healthiest shark populations left on Earth, protected within a massive ocean sanctuary. The Marshall Islands scatters across a vast ocean. The next nation is a single mountain kingdom wedged between 2 European giants. To Liechtenstein. Number 6, Liechtenstein. A double landlocked alpine kingdom wedged between Switzerland and Austria, ruled by a prince who still lives in a real castle overlooking the capital. It is one of only 2 countries in the world that is double landlocked, meaning it is surrounded entirely by other landlocked nations. Despite its size, Liechtenstein has one of the highest GDP per capita in the world, driven largely by banking and precision manufacturing. The ruling prince's family has governed the territory since the 18th century, making it one of the oldest continuous monarchies in Europe. You can rent the entire country for private events, complete with a torchlit parade and dinner with the prince himself. Liechtenstein has no standing army, having disbanded its military in 1868 and never rebuilt it since. In 2007, the country briefly invaded Switzerland by accident when soldiers got lost during a training exercise in fog. Liechtenstein hides an entire kingdom inside the Alps. The next nation is a walled fortress republic perched on a single mountain. To San Marino. Number 5, San Marino. The world's oldest surviving republic, an entire nation built into the cliffs of a single mountain, completely surrounded by Italy on all sides. Founded in the year 301, San Marino claims to be the oldest continuously sovereign state still in existence today. Its entire capital is built directly into the cliffs of Monte Titano, with narrow stairways carved straight into the rock. San Marino has more registered cars than people, giving it one of the highest vehicle-to-population ratios on Earth. The Republic's 3 medieval towers are so iconic they appear on the national flag and coat of arms. Tourism and stamp and coin collecting form a surprisingly large part of the tiny nation's economy. During World War II, San Marino declared neutrality yet secretly sheltered thousands of refugees fleeing the fighting nearby. San Marino is an entire republic carved into a mountain. The next nation is a scattered ring of Pacific atolls barely above sea level. To Tuvalu. Number 4, Tuvalu. One of the smallest and most remote nations on Earth, a scattering of narrow coral atolls in the Pacific that may become the first country lost entirely to rising seas. Its highest point sits just over 4.5 meters above sea level, making it one of the most climate-threatened nations on the planet. Tuvalu is the 4th smallest country in the world by land area, yet it is home to over 10,000 people. The nation earns significant income by leasing its rare internet domain, .tv, to streaming and media companies worldwide. In 2022, Tuvalu began digitally recreating itself in virtual space, preparing a backup version of the nation for a future without land. Traditional Tuvaluan dance and chanting remain central to island life, performed at nearly every community gathering. Its lagoons host vital fish nurseries that sustain both the local diet and one of the region's few reliable export industries. Tuvalu is racing against the rising sea itself. The next nation is a phosphate-rich island so small it has no official capital city. To Nauru. The top 3 are so small that each one could fit inside a single major city park, with room to spare. Number 3, Nauru. The world's smallest island nation, a single Pacific island so small you can drive around its entire coastline in about 30 minutes. Nauru was once one of the wealthiest nations per capita on Earth, its riches built entirely on mining phosphate from ancient bird droppings. Decades of mining stripped away roughly 80% of the island's surface, leaving a jagged, largely uninhabitable moonscape. Nauru has no official capital, its government offices simply spread across the district of Yaren near the coast. After the phosphate ran out, the tiny nation briefly became a controversial offshore tax haven to survive economically. Its entire coastal ring road is just 19 kilometers long, one of the shortest national ring roads on the planet. Nauru briefly became a global punchline in the 1990s for hosting an Elvis Presley-themed concert to boost its profile. Nauru is an entire nation you could circle in half an hour. The next nation is a glittering city-state squeezed onto a single sunny hillside. To Monaco. Number 2, Monaco. A glittering city-state squeezed along the French Riviera, so densely packed with luxury that it is the most crowded sovereign nation on Earth. Monaco has the highest population density of any country on Earth, with tens of thousands of people packed into just 2 square kilometers. It has no income tax for residents, drawing some of the wealthiest people in the world to settle within its tiny borders. The Monaco Grand Prix runs directly through the streets of the city, transforming ordinary roads into a Formula One racetrack once a year. The nation has been steadily expanding into the sea, reclaiming land from the Mediterranean to fit more buildings onto its tiny footprint. The Grimaldi royal family has ruled Monaco for over 700 years, one of the longest reigning dynasties in the world. Monaco's famous casino was originally built in the 1860s specifically to save the ruling family from bankruptcy. Monaco crams a glamorous nation onto a single hillside. But number 1 is even smaller, a walled city inside a city that governs over 1 billion people worldwide. To Vatican City. And number 1, Vatican City. The smallest sovereign nation on Earth, a walled enclave inside Rome smaller than most golf courses, yet home to its own government, army, currency, and postal service. At under half a square kilometer, Vatican City is roughly 1/8 the size of New York's Central Park, yet fully independent. It became fully sovereign in 1929, after centuries of dispute between the Catholic Church and the Italian state. Its defense is provided by the Swiss Guard, soldiers dressed in colorful Renaissance-era uniforms who have guarded the popes since 1506. Vatican City has its own postal system, license plates, and even an ATM that offers instructions in Latin, a dead language brought back to life. It has no permanent residents in the traditional sense, its population made up mostly of clergy, guards, and Vatican officials. Despite its size, it governs over 1 billion Catholics worldwide, making it one of the most influential nations per square meter on Earth. From Michelangelo's ceiling to the Pope's private gardens, Vatican City proves that a nation's power has nothing to do with its size, the smallest and mightiest place on our list. From island kingdoms to a walled city smaller than a stadium, our planet's smallest nations prove that size has nothing to do with sovereignty. Which one surprised you the most? Subscribe to Mini World Atlas, and next time we count down the world's tiniest inhabited islands.